Hello again, this is Hams from the patio, and we are subtracting fractions with different denominators today. So don't worry about it. I'll show you how to do it. My way, of course. But let's go ahead and get started on these. When subtracting fractions with different denominators, we'll look for the least common denominator or least common multiple or the smallest number that both denominators will divide into evenly and use that as our denominator, and then just simply subtract the numerators like you would do if the denominators were the same. All right, and so let's do this first one. I like to line these up vertically, and I'm going to do that here. So I have 9/16 minus 1/4. And just like we did when adding, we'll look for the smallest number that both will divide into. And I always like to look to the largest denominator and use that one because you can get to the smallest number that both of them will divide into faster by using the largest denominator. So first, check the largest denominator and see if the smallest denominator will divide into that one evenly. And in this case, that is the case. So 4 does divide into 16. It is a factor of 16. And so 16 will be our least common denominator, or smallest number that both will divide into. And so simply, let's do this in red, how I work these out off to the side over here. And I will only do that on this first example. And then the other examples, you can refer back to this one. And so what we'll do, we'll take 16 and divide it by 4. So let's write that out. 16 divided by 4. And that equals 4. And then we'll take the 4 that we get from that and multiply it times the numerator. And so this will be 4 times 1. And then 4 times 1 is 4. Okay, and then for the 9/16, we have here 16 divided by 16, and that is equal to 1. And then we'll multiply that 1 times the numerator, 9. So then 1 times 9, and then that equals 9. And so then now we can just subtract the numerators in that case. And so therefore, we have a 4 here and a 9 here, and we subtract the numerators. 9 minus 4 is 5. And so therefore, then our answer ends up being 5/16 when we finish. And I got some stuff going on here with my um, keyboard here. My hand is hitting the pad here. All right, so we get this stuff straightened out. All right, next. Let's see, we have 5/6 minus 3/8. And so we'll take 5/6 minus 3/8. And I'll look to these denominators to get the smallest number that 6 and 8 will divide into evenly. And so I'll start with 8, and we'll see what number that. We'll look at the multiples of 8. And let's go through the multiples of 8. We have 8. 6 will not divide into 8, so 8 is not it. Then the next multiple of 8 is 8 times 2 is 16. 6 will not divide into 16, so let's move on. Then we have 8 times 3 is 24, and 6 will divide into 24, so there we have it. Our least common denominator here is 24. All right, so we'll follow the process that we had on the first problem. I'll let this down a little bit so we can see that. And I'm going to follow that process. We're going to say 24 divided by 8 is 3, and 3 times 3 is 9. And here we have 24 divided by 6, and 24 divided by 6 is 4, and 4 times 5 is 20. Right? And now we just simply subtract these numerators. 20 minus 9 is 11. And then we just have 11 over 24 for our answer. Okay, let's look at the next one. We have 1/2 minus 3/7. So we have 1/2 minus 3/7. Right. We'll say equal. And now let's look at the multiples. And of course, we have 7 here is the largest denominator. 2 will not divide into 7. So let's move to the next multiple of 7, which is 14. And 2 does divide into 14. So in this case, 14 will be our least common denominator. And now let's follow the process. 14 divided by 7 is 2, and 2 times 3 is 6. And here, 14 divided by 2 is 7. 7 times 1 is 7. And then we'll subtract the numerators. 7 minus 6 is 1. And we'll keep the denominator 14. So we have 1/14. All right, let's move down. And now we have 3/5 minus 1/2. 3/5 minus 1/2. And so 3/5 minus 1/2. Right, and so I'll just go ahead and our least common denominator is 10, right? Because we have 5 here. 2 doesn't divide in 5. The next multiple of 5 is 10. Both of those numbers divide into 10 evenly. And so 10 is the least common denominator. So 10 divided by 2 is 5. 5 times 1 is 5. And then 10 divided by 5 is 2. And then 2 times 3 is 6. And then subtract the numerators. 6 minus 5 is 1. And so we have an answer of 1/10. Then finally, we have 8/9 minus 3 over 6. And so 8 over 9 minus 3 over 6. And we'll look at 9 and 16. And again, start with the larger one. 6 does not divide into 9 evenly. So let's look at the multiples of 9. The next multiple, 9 times 2 is 18. And 6 does divide into 18 evenly. And so we'll have 18 for our least common denominator. And then we have 18 divided by 6 is 3. 3 times 3 is 9. And then here, 18 divided by 9 is 2. And 2 times 8 is 16. And now we can subtract 16 minus 9 is 7. And our denominator is 18. So 7/18 is our answer. All right, that is it. And that's all for adding, or not adding, but subtracting fractions with different denominators. All right, hopefully that helps you out. Thank you for watching. That's how I do it. I don't know how to don't know how to teach you, but that's how I do it. And so thank you very much, and I wish you much success.